Hi there. In this video we'll be covering, is it worth writing a book in 2026? These are strange, interesting times for the world and for the book industry as well. There are so many opportunities that can come from writing a book. The chance to set your own course, the chance to author something special and share your message with the world, and put the pieces in place for the future that you want to create for yourself. By the end of this video, you will learn more about the opportunities that can come from book writing, the power of sharing your message, and why writing a book is about a lot more than just money. And stay tuned until the end of the video for an opportunity I really think you're going to enjoy. Let's dive in. More and more people are choosing to write books today than ever before because the pathway to writing a book is easier than it's ever been. But that doesn't mean that all those books are being read. In fact, most books really aren't read that much. Most books only get read by 20, 50, 100 people, if you're lucky. And that's a reflection of, I think, missed opportunities. I think it's also a reflection of the fact that people are cutting corners with book writing. More and more people are using AI to write their books. Because of that, these books really aren't standing out. They're not separating themselves from the pack. When you think about AI writing, you think about sounding like other people or sounding like you're smart or sounding like you have something to say. And I think a lot of times when we focus on writing with AI, it means sounding like everybody else. When being a successful book writer means sounding different, sounding uniquely like yourself. When I think about book writing, I think about ownership and authorship. And authorship means more than just putting your name on the cover of something. It means really standing tall with this message, holding it up, shouting it. It means really putting it out there. When you write a book, it means you are an authority. Obviously, that authority needs to carry forward. If you write a bad book and it's full of errors and mistakes, your authority level is going to go down because people are going to start reading reviews and saying, I don't think I'm going to waste my time with this book. A lot of these online platforms like Amazon even downgrade books that have a bad rating, like under a 4.0. It basically sends a signal to the algorithm, and it sends a signal to potential readers that this isn't a high quality book. So the goal here is to rise above, to really make sure that your message stands apart and means something and says something. Opportunities. There are so many opportunities that can come from book writing. Money is certainly one of them if you do things the right way and if you connect the sales funnel to your book. If you understand what your reader is going to do next, maybe it's book you for speaking engagement, maybe it's work with your company, become a client of yours. There's revenue opportunities in books, but revenue opportunities in books aren't usually direct. It's not usually from book sales by itself. Yes, if you sell tens of thousands of copies of your book, you're liable to make money off of it. But let's go back to what I was saying earlier. Most books don't get widely read. So if you have a book and you're focused on making money from selling lots and lots of copies, it's not really reliable and it's not really the best way to go about doing it. If you think about getting 50 or 100 people to read your book that want to take action and spend money booking you or hiring you, there's so much more revenue opportunity there than there is in selling books. Think about selling books as an empty thing if you're just only focused on selling books. I actually know of authors who've done this, and not willfully, but they've done this where they will author a book, they'll think it's going to sell tons of copies, and then it didn't sell tons of copies, and now what? It's a really disappointing thing. So you really need to think about what your reader's interested in, and you need to think about what your expertise is, that you can connect the dots, that you have this expertise, that the reader's interested in learning something they don't know already, and then think about the next steps. Think about the journey forward together that you can take, you being the expert, you getting hired to do something, you taking a journey with somebody, so there's springboards and there's opportunities, there's career growth. Writing a book is such a great experience for business leaders. It's a great experience for thought leaders. It's really about establishing your expertise and putting it out in the world. And, a book sends a signal to people. A book sends a signal that you are on top of your game, that you're an expert, that you're interested in finishing things, that you're seeing the world a little bit differently, that you want to step into your impact and your power and your message. Being able to do that is such an awesome thing. Here's the thing about book writing, though. There's such a knowledge gap. There's so much information as an author that you need to learn along the way, and so many ways that things can go sideways. There's so many companies and predatory people out there who are trying to take advantage of wannabe authors, of prospective book authors, of trying to cut corners, of getting people to spend money where it doesn't need to be spent. Looking forward for these big packages that promise the moon and the stars and a #1 Amazon rating. But what does it all mean? Does it actually mean a high quality book, or does it mean gaming a system? And I think that's important for you as you think about writing this book, is making sure that you're working with reputable people, making sure that you're working with professionals. I want to make sure that you avoid these packages. You can see them online when you Google them, of all these bloated services that you can buy and pay for that are going to seemingly help you but don't really help. You can find them all over the place. It doesn't cost $10,000 or $15,000 or $20,000 necessarily to publish your book. You can hire professionals directly. I work with professionals. I'm a professional myself. And there's websites like readsy.com where you can find book professionals that can work directly with you instead of working through companies that are providing services and packages, and you end up paying for advertising for the company instead of actually editing or design support or something else. When I think about books, it's the ultimate investment in yourself. It's a long-term investment. Think about going to the gym. When you go to the gym, you're not focused on today, you're focused on down the road. You want to be in shape, you want to get fit, you want to maintain better results for yourself. Whatever the case may be, you're focused on tomorrow. You're not necessarily just focused on here and now. And a book is the same way. It is a long-term asset. It's a long-term opportunity. It's a double down on yourself. When you think about what you want to do next, think about how a book can fit into that. If you want to be a public speaker, think about how a book can help you prop up your public speaking career and get people to know about you and your message and want to book you for speaking engagements. When you think about stepping into your power as an entrepreneur, what can you write to help you establish your credibility as an entrepreneur? This is about thinking 2 steps ahead and thinking about the space that you want to inhabit. If you want to be the go-to person in your space, in your field, in your industry, a book is a great way to do it. But there's something deeper. This isn't just about opportunities and career growth. It's about something internal. It's something inside of yourself. It's a yearning. It's a desire to share your message more widely, to preserve it, to document it. So many things need to be documented in our world because we don't want these stories to be lost. We don't want these stories to be overlooked or forgotten or missed. It's so special when you can put a story down and preserve it for future generations. And there's so much opportunity in book writing, whether it's a family history project, whether it's an entrepreneur growth story, whether it's a memoir about your personal struggles and overcoming them. There's so much opportunity that can come from book writing, and I just think it's so worth it. When I think about what makes book writing worth it, I think about my friend Emma Grace. Emma Grace is a musician. She performed on a song called Brave Soul with Elenium. It's an EDM musician. It was a Grammy-nominated album, and she had some struggles, and she was in a motorcycle crash a couple years after the song came out, and she was left with a traumatic brain injury. Her life was flipped upside down, and she was really struggling. And, over the course of 2 years, 2+ years since the crash, she's done so much self-work and self-growth, repairing her life, really finding balance and sobriety and making new music, launching a public speaking career. And she's been working on a book. And it's so special to see her stepping into her authority and her message and her story. And stories like that are going to have so much impact for people here and down the road. And it's just so great to be able to share messages like those to make sure that those stories don't get lost or forgotten or overlooked. And the thing I love about her putting her message down on paper is that it's her story. She's authoring it. She's telling it in the most authentic way possible. And, I see from, talking to her regularly, I see so much self-growth, just over the course of the time that she's been working on her book. It's just been so special to see how much her life has changed and shifted and transformed because of the book writing process. This book has brought out something new in her and different in her, and it's just a powerful thing. And being able to flex that muscle a little bit, and put your stamp on the world is the greatest feeling. And I want to make sure that you have that feeling too, that you get that chance. If you want to learn more about, is it worth writing a book in 2026? I'd love for you to check out my website. It's called writeagoodbook.com. There you can check out my tips, my insights, get some free lessons from me. You can even book a call with me. I'd love to help you any way I can to help you bring your story forward, because this is your year. This is your opportunity to write your book. And I want to make sure that you take advantage of that and make the most of every opportunity you can. Remember, a good book can change your life. I'm Dan Good. Thanks for watching.